Hello everyone, welcome to the Market Outlook this Monday morning. Gaurang Shah here from Geojit Financial Services, and as I speak to all of you all this Monday morning at around about 11 o'clock, markets started off on a positive note, then gave up the gains that it had made, and again we have some recovery on the screen. Before I go any further, let me give you certain levels on Sensex, Nifty, Bank Nifty, as well as rupee dollar and crude oil. So Sensex is up about 105 points, 72,540 is the level on Sensex. Nifty is up about 47 points, 22,085 is the level on Nifty. Spot. Bank Nifty up about 100 points, 46,880 is the level on Bank Nifty or Nifty Bank. Rupee dollar absolutely flat, no moves. 83.01 paise to a dollar. And on the crude oil front, well, Brent is at about $82.94 to a barrel, and NYMEX is trading at about $78.73 to a barrel. Let me give you the outlook on the market for the week. So if you recollect last week, Monday, there were levels given out, 21,600 on the lower side and 21,700, 21,800 on the higher side. On Wednesday last week, we broke the levels of 21,600. We went down, but by the time we ended up the trade for Wednesday, we recovered from those levels. So the lower level was held out quite smartly. And subsequently, of course, with the momentum being followed, those higher levels of resistance were also taken off, 21,700, 21,800 very smartly last week. And as a result of that, we are trading at all-time high that the market has seen and a top heavy feeling. And our sense was that week before last, when we gave out the higher level, was 22,000 and 22,100. So we are seeing some amount of resistance and crossing over 21,000, 22,100, I beg your pardon. Is looking a little bit difficult now, but eventually I think as we go forward this week, that should be taken off. In terms of the levels currently, I think this level will be trading at 22,080, 22,100, and I think eventually 22,125 or 26 will be a zone to watch out for on the higher side. And whenever we get a decisive close above that 22,126 level, our sense is that the momentum should continue a little bit on the higher side. On the lower level, well, 22,000, 21,900 could be the lower end of the market. So eventually what levels were there last week have moved up both on the lower side as well as higher side. So we'll have to wait and watch. I think patience will be needed for the crossover of all-time high and then moving beyond those levels before we do any kind of move. A brief consolidation should be seen for a couple of days, but our view is that we will eventually take off that 22,126 level and go above those levels. We'll have to be a little bit patient for that. On the rupee dollar equation, well, we did manage to get to closer to 83 level, but then last week that was against the dollar, and then again we are at 83.01, marginally on the higher side, but anticipation is that we could see some strength in the rupee against the dollar, and sub 83 levels could be witnessed on the strength as far as the rupee dollar equation is concerned. On the crude oil front, well, elevated level definitely yes. Beyond $80 is Brent, and close to $80 is NYMEX. Possibly we might see a little bit of downtick on the Brent and NYMEX both. Could see sub 80 levels on the Brent, and could see possibly 76 and closer to 75 levels per barrel on NYMEX, unless and until you have some decisive high demand coming through or any negative news flow from the Red Sea as far as the activities of Houthi rebels are concerned. Outlook for the week: curtains down for the third quarter earning decisively, and no major negative is what is positive, and possibly you will see upgrades coming through like we've seen post the second quarter earnings. So I think we'll have to just wait for those upgrades in terms of target sectors, which are those companies in a particular sector which will be in the spotlight. Defense stock are in the spotlight again. There is a huge order from the Ministry of Defense to certain companies in the defense. These are not recommendation, but which companies are likely to get benefited are Hindustan Aeronautics, Bharat Dynamics, BEL and BHEL. These are some of the companies which will get benefited. Paras Defense is also one of those companies which will get benefited of these huge orders that the Ministry of Defense has lined up. Again, these are not recommendation, just names of those companies which will get benefited of this huge order of almost about 80,000 crores, which the Ministry and the Government of India is going to give out. In terms of news flow, no major news flow now. I think we've seen the budget, we've seen the credit policy. Last week we got a little bit of scare from the US as far as the data points were concerned. We reacted and then again we recovered after that. So there was news flows from the global arena is something what we'll have to possibly react to. As and when they are known to us, markets will react accordingly. In form of data points, we also had the WPI, CPI, IIP numbers. Nothing concerning on that front also. So let's hope that over a longest period of time, we have the inflation number coming down to a comfort zone, post which, and consecutively for a couple of months, if we have lower inflation, then possibly we might see RBI move on a recommendation of the monetary policy as far as rate cuts are concerned. But for that to happen, a consistent lower level as far as inflation is concerned is what we'll have to watch out for. Once we cross over the all-time high of 22,126, it is, like I mentioned, it is going to be interesting to see whether we are able to sustain at that level. And if we are able to do that, since every market has an history, every time the markets try to go to the all-time high and cross over, there is a little bit of resistance. So it would be interesting to see whether we are able to sustain at those levels and whether we are going to have any steam to move on further. Every time when we give you the market outlook, we also recommend two long-term investment ideas on the fundamental side. We have tried to identify two names from the small cap universe which have the capability of delivery over a longer period of time in terms of earnings, and of course thereby earnings improvement, same will reflect upon the stock price as well. So the two names are, one is Zomato. As a disclosure, we had a coverage during the IPO, and post the IPO, we all know the history, how the stock came down because of certain large investors exiting the stock. Some concerns were there as far as contribution from the home provisioning platform Blinkit is concerned. But over the period of time, friends, what we have noticed is that there is a small amount of platform fee that is charged on the food delivery platform as well as grocery delivery platform, that is Blinkit. And there is some handling charges also that is levied on the Blinkit platform. This contribution has started to look quite strong on the balance sheet as far as Zomato is concerned. And by default, with the kind of subscribers that they have on their gold, Zomato Gold category is very high. Our sense is that continuous contribution from handling fee, platform fee is going to improve going forward from here on, and of course margins are going to get improved. So we have upgraded our targets on Zomato post these third quarter earnings. We have a positive view on Zomato on the fundamental side. The second one is from a small finance bank called Ujjivan Small Finance. One of the positive triggers of the small finance banks, that is SFB, small finance banks abbreviated for, is that the ticket size or the loan size is very small. And since the loan size is small, the run rate of recovery as far as principal and interest is concerned is almost about 90% plus. This is in case of most of the small finance banks. Ujjivan more so, it is somewhere close to about 92% or 95% recovery in terms of principal and interest. And when you have that high recovery run rate, your by default gross and net NPAs are down, provisioning is also lower, and profit margins are intact. Stock is consolidating at current levels. Our sense is that the loan book growth will definitely have a huge impact on the margins, and because of the asset quality being strong, I think profitability should also be much stronger. Mind you friends, both these names, Zomato Limited as well as Ujjivan Small Finance Bank, are long-term investment ideas. These are not for short-term, medium-term, or buy today, sell tomorrow, BTST as it is known in the market. These are investment ideas from a longish time horizon, 12 months, 15 months, 18 months plus, longer the better, to get a decent return from your investments in these two companies. As always, don't rush into it. Start nibbling into the stock at current levels, and whenever you get opportunity on dips, you can definitely add on to it. Thank you very much for your patience hearing, and I'll see you again next week. Till then, please do take care of your health.